What's up guys, I'm David Wilson and I have a company called SkySnap Imaging where I do drone photography and videography. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what are drones, the different types of drones, the jobs of drones, and how I utilize drones. So let's get into it. Just what in the world are drones? I think when most people think of drones, they think of something like this. You may even have something similar at home. A drone is actually defined as a remote-controlled, pilotless vehicle. And you may even hear the term UAV, which means unmanned aerial vehicle. Where did the term drone come from? Back in 1935, Admiral William H. Stanley went over to Great Britain and watched the Royal Navy do a demonstration on their new Queen Bee remote-controlled aerial vehicle. Admiral Stanley was so impressed with this that he brought the technology back over to the United States and had it developed even further. He referred to his version as the drone to fall in line with the Queen Bee terminology. The technology has come a very long way since 1935, and today our military uses planes like these to fly. First, we're going to talk about the multirotor drones. These are typically what people think of when you hear the word drone. They use multiple vertical rotors or props to fly. There are many different varieties of these, and some of them can be used for play and some of them can be used in jobs. I'll show you a couple videos to show you what I'm talking about.
Racing is a mental game, right? It's all about how do you handle your emotions, block out the distractions, and fly your race. Without that experience, without that practice, without having that pressure been on you before, it's hard to remain competitive.
Now that was pretty cool. That was drone racing. These are typically a little bit smaller and they have a little camera that points forward, and you have to wear special goggles so you can see where you're flying. Next, we have a special drone that is very similar to those racing drones that you just saw. This one was actually used on the Daytona 500 to film the race cars going by. It will actually fly over 80 miles per hour.
Field in the back straightaway behind the safety car as they cross the start-finish line.
How cool is this
21
shot,
laps. There's our 80-mile-an-hour Fox drone cam. What a great view. One you can't get when you buy a ticket, only in front of your TV.
This next drone is a very expensive drone. What these guys do is inspect windmills. They'll look at every single part of the windmill to make sure that everything is in correct working order. If it's not, then they take all these different pictures and send it to the correct people so they can send somebody up there to fix it. That way, somebody doesn't have to crawl up there just to take pictures with a camera and risk falling. Watch this video as the man runs off into the darkness. You can't see him on the regular camera, but once the infrared is turned on, his body is actually turned into another color so you can clearly see him even when he tries to go hiding in the trees. Okay, next we have the FixedWing drone. So these look more like an airplane where they have wings that use lift instead of the rotors, like a multirotor. The FixedWing drones have some advantages over the multirotor drones. They can stay in the air longer because they use a wing to provide lift, and they're much more efficient. Plus they can also use gas engines. They also have disadvantages too. They can't hover and take off vertically like a multirotor drone. Sometimes a fixed-wing drone is just too large to launch by hand and may require a runway or a catapult. Here's an example of a catapult. Another type of drone is called the single rotor, and it is just what it sounds like. It has one large rotor up top that keeps it flying in the air and hovering, but it also has one in the back on the tail that keeps it under control and keeps it from spinning around in circles. But when you think of a single rotor, think of a helicopter, because it looks just like a helicopter, which is really what it is. Now check out this cool video of a 3D helicopter. All right, so the last one we're going to talk about is the fixed wing hybrid. Now they're a little bit different, but a little bit of the same. They look like an airplane, but they almost act like a multirotor at times. They actually have rotors that can rotate upwards so they can take off vertically, and then they can rotate back to give them the push that they need to stay in the air like an airplane. Well, that's about all I have for you. I hope you learned something new today. This is a fun hobby and a really fun job. If this is something that you're interested in, then I highly encourage you to get one of these less expensive drones and learn to fly that first before you graduate to something more expensive, like the drones you saw today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thanks for letting me talk to you.